Nerdrotic.com.
The morale on FNT has never been higher, folks. It's never been higher. And I'm really feeling love today.
Yeah, you can burn in hell, Gary. You. So, you can burn in hell.
Son of a bitch.
I'm feeling the love.
I woke up this morning thinking, it's a nice Friday. I can get to hang out with the boys. Oh no, you gotta watch Little Mermaid. Wasting my entire
Is that how I sound? Is that how I sound? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could have been slamming my dick in the door, but I went and watched Little Mermaid instead.
Yeah.
Slamming your dick in the door would be less painful.
I shamed.
It would have been much
your
less
sea
painful.
cucumber.
So, I am fully prepared to be called a racist and a sexist today after I tell you how terrible this movie is, and it is terrible. Probably worse, or at least as bad as The Lion King. And I'm looking forward to being. I am going to be more racist and sexist than Ryan Kennel today. And I'm really excited about that. It's been a long time since I was able to say that one.
Yeah,
so.
you lost your crown a long time ago. So
Yeah,
you got a long way to go to work your way back.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be one of these. Halle Bailey was really she was dog
was
shit.
terrible.
She was not good. She was
awful.
not good. Can she sing? Sure, whatever. So can
Auto-tune.
Auto-tune.
So can
Auto-tune.
1,000 people out
Yeah.
there. She was not good in this role. She was not a good actress. She was not
terrible.
good at all. Nothing about this movie was good. I reject every single aspect of it.
The
This
nudes,
movie.
though. Hot as fuck.
I mean, I'll fap to it, but that's not a
A
very
fish?
high standard. Okay?
To a fish?
Look, bro,
Walleye?
you know how
I
it
don't
is.
know.
Sometimes you end up in a fucked up place.
Do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I saw her at OnlyFins.
Hey.
Yeah, I went and watched the Little fucking Mermaid. I'll be honest, I was going in expecting it to be the worst thing I had ever witnessed in my entire life. That was fully my expectation. It was bad, but it wasn't the worst thing. So I came out thinking, oh, well, I think I put it on, the way I put it on our stream today was I was expecting to walk in and shoot myself in the head. And instead I walked in and it was like I got shot in the leg.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay. I guess not as bad as I expected, but still a really bad movie that had no reason to be made with clear identity politics at each and every turn.
Yes.
And
Yes.
man,
Yes.
we'll see what it does in the box office, but it was not a good movie.
Nope.
It is
Long.
I am angry after watching it, dude. I fucking hated it, man. I really hated it. And I've looked at this and I was thinking, like, man, what side of this am I going to be on? Because I went and saw Avatar, and a lot of people, our space didn't like. I loved Avatar too. I kind of went into Guardians not knowing what I was going to think about that, and Dune is another one I was expecting to dislike that one. This one I was like, I'm seeing some different reactions than I was expecting from this movie. So maybe this movie isn't as bad as it's fucking trash. Okay. It is bad. It is horrible. And I don't give a anybody says Halle Bailey or Halle Berry or whatever her name is. She sucks. She's not
She's a
good.
terrible actress. I think she's a
bad.
singer. I think she's got a really great voice. She is
I don't think
really,
she has a good voice.
She's a really bad actress.
It's auto-tune.
She
There was a
can't
dead
act.
pixel on my screen acted better than Halle Bailey.
And did you see?
Was it ever just dead center in the middle of her?
She has
It was almost
trained emotionless voice.
It's a large target.
There was
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
there was digital artifacting going on all over the place. There was things skipping. It was bad. Like the graphics were
The
horrible.
head bobbing on their
The faces
fish
were
bodies
going
was
a
so
little left and right
horrendous.
from the body. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. Oof.
It was the same animators from the Meaning of Life fish tank scene.
Yes.
Yes.
Did that.
Did any of them actually have to swim for this?
It didn't look like it. It looked like they were in.
They did some stuff,
green
but I
screens.
don't know how much of it was.
I mean, my biggest take on the movie is that they couldn't figure out the art direction. So was it Jacques Cousteau realistic? Was it kind of fake animation? Was it fancy stylized animation? Because they couldn't figure out how to match what was happening under the water with what was happening in the real world. And they did that. They just did a piss poor job of art directing that. They couldn't figure out what their movie needed to look like.
Yeah, it was
I think
Zack Snyder's Little Mermaid is what it was. That's what
To
it was.
me, I think that really the biggest and most insulting part of the entire thing is clearly they replicate one-for-one shot with some stuff in the animated. even to the end with Eric like throwing the spear at Ursula, where it hits her, the view of him in the water as he's like going back up, like a lot of this stuff is 1-for-1 from the animated, which means that all the things they didn't do that way were clear decisions to not do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like clearly they had some exact replications. So yeah, the decision to have, spoiler alert, Ariel on the ship at the end to turn the ship and kill Ursula at the end instead of Eric.
She saves Eric.
Yeah. These are clear.
She
Eric
saves
was there
Eric.
too. Dad.
Eric
was there too.
He was just there. That's the biggest crime of this film. They couldn't decide what they wanted. They had to have the member berries, so they have these 1-for-1 remakes, and then they have all these other changes which fundamentally break the narrative of the film. I'm not kidding. Like that, like the underlining plot of this story is absolutely broken on multiple levels. I counted like 47 unnecessary changes that made this film objectively worse, and it's infuriating because the original film, the animation is brilliant. I love it. And, you know, I'm not a hater. One of my favorite films is the Cinderella Disney remake, okay?
It's fantastic.
It's
phenomenal.
absolutely brilliant. This is
I don't remember that.
complete, like the Ariel, you know, Little Mermaid remake. This one is utter crap. So long, gay boys! I'm a culture.
It's
The most unbelievable part is that Halle Bailey
know
can
so many
swim.
people would
I don't
come out
understand
today.
that. Totally,
that's gonna be a
totally
lot.
broken
Halle
immersion.
Bailey could have been replaced by a Tootsie Roll Pop.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
None of the characters felt like the actual characters from the animation.
I can't believe you're
not
legit
one.
breaking this movie down.
You know, I would say, I'll say
Scuttle-
Eric,
That's his job.
Scuttle was pretty great.
Eric
What the?
Hey, Muhammad, I'm a bird. Listen to me, I'm a bird. I have a beak.
Remember my song in the swamp when I was like, womp, womp, chicka, womp.
Oh, that was so bad.
Scuttle might be the single worst character I've ever seen in any film ever, and I'm not
Murder me.
bullshitting. Like
Yeah.
Scuttle
Yeah.
makes Rosiko look like a plus character. Like Scuttle was terrible. Holy
That
Yeah.
They added what? They added a freaking hour to the movie. They added, and they couldn't have the French chef.
And like Eric really wanted to have sex with the sea. There was a whole song about it. He was like, "Get on me, sea, come back to me."
They wanted to create this dichotomy of she wants to be part of that world, he wants to be part of her, like the sea.
He
world,
collects
you know what I mean?
things too, just like
Surprisingly enough, I caught that. I did.
Yeah, it's like as over the head as possible.
Yeah.
I'm glad Chad
I
brought
don't
up
mind that.
the live action Cinderella is fantastic. It is absolutely awesome. And so
Sorry, do you want a Bud Light while you're
This is
discussing?
sus. Yeah, pause,
listen,
pause, heavy
listen.
pause.
Listen, you can try all you want and pretend that movie ain't good. That movie's good as hell. It's a really good movie. But that's the whole point is like we'll call it like it is. Like this Little Mermaid movie is objectively terrible in every single way. I saw no redeeming qualities of anything in this movie. Nothing. There was not one single thing I'm going to sit here and tell you was good about this movie. This movie. It.
Agree about the CGI or like the visual elements of the Little Mermaid. I remember being way more impressed as a kid watching the original with like the ease with which they were swimming. It looked very awkward. I laughed. I chuckled to myself when Ariel finally got her legs, like how bad of a swimmer she suddenly was. I was like, okay, at least this is accurate. I was like, all right, there's the accuracy because she was basically drowning. And what I don't like is that this film kind of encourages illegal immigration because Ariel shows up in a boat. First of all, a black fisherman, I've never seen one of those, catches her in his net. And then I'm gonna just bring you to the castle. They'll know what to do.
Yeah, man, come on over to the castle, man.
I'll bring you to the Black Queen.
She'll know what to do. Hey,
she has no job skills. She has no job skills. She can't speak English. Hello. But they're like, yes, get her whatever she needs. I'm like, is this what the Biden administration is telling all the illegals? They just show up. They have nothing to offer anybody.
They may as well have just made her here at JCPenney with all those skills. So.
If my dad were Triton, I could see him like giving me legs, but then giving Eric a mermaid tail and be like, ha ha.
Honestly, it's still not the worst movie I've ever seen. That honor belongs to the Eternals. But yeah, this movie was not fun. I found to be rather boring, and having never seen the original, I had no basis of comparison. But I did know they changed the end with Eric, basically taking away his agency and giving it to Ariel and
His
making it completely
agency.
pointless. Yes, his agency.
His Asian.
I think it's the Caribbean. It's not the agency.
Anyway,
5%
yeah,
Asians
the
in
whole
the Caribbean.
point.
Hey,
The whole point with that scene, and even I know this without seeing the movie, is that it's more that redemption to humanity with Triton, the fact that Eric goes and kills Ursula,
Right.
and they totally ruin that, which is unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
now
original has a really
motivation-
great father-daughter story about letting go of your daughter, letting her spread her legs, whatever. Right?
Wow.
That's what the movie is about. Okay, that's what the movie's about.
Her legs. Okay.
Well,
And accepting that, and then like seeing people of other cultures and being like, okay, maybe they're not all evil and bad, and yeah, they kind of stood all over that and just like
stomped
messed
all
it
over
all
that.
up, and it's
Yeah.
they muddied the
Now-
waters.
Now Eric doesn't save Ariel, doesn't save Triton,
Nope.
and the motivation for
Nope.
Triton to forgive the entire human race, and this one, like they're overt about humans killing Ariel's mother, is that
Yes.
Eric was there. He was there.
He was
as
there
well.
too, Dad.
He was
Yeah.
there too.
Come on.
yeah,
He's not so bad.
He helped me
I
save
remember
myself.
Hearing that line, I completely forgot about it. It was like, that was.
You
dumb.
know what? If Disney's brand was not so busted, I would say it would hit $1 billion. If
Yeah.
the Disney
I'm-
brand was not because take a look at The Lion King. It was a lousy movie and it made $1.6
Good
billion
point.
dollars. So
Wow.
you know
Little
what?
girls are gonna love this.
Well, it was
Yeah,
a different
Oh, yeah,
time.
100%.
2019 was a different time.
I will say though, if the Lion King came out now, it would still make that money because
You
it's the
think so?
Lion King. Yeah, yeah. If it
I
because the
don't
Lion
know.
King, Lion
I
King
don't
carries a
think so.
lot more weight than Little Mermaid. Or
But the
I
Disney
don't know about
brand
that.
is so tarnished, and people have checked
Yeah,
it
It's
out.
tarnished. It's tarnished here, but Lion King made a lot of its money.
I think if
globally.
Little Mermaid came out 3 years ago, it would do a lot better. I think it
Yeah,
would.
like,
probably.
I
And,
think-
I mean, if
like,
we
I
want to
think
throw
this
in
movie
ifs and buts, if they cut out a half an hour of the movie, it would do better
Easily.
too.
They
I
could've
zoned out
easily
for that
cut it
half
out.
hour. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
There was,
Oh.
and all the families in the theater, I feel like the kids started really zoning out too.
Yeah.
For a movie that, clearly is, for a younger audience, I do think it was too long. And I think there was a lot of dead space in the middle. But, I think that this movie to me is worse than the Aladdin remake. It's worse than the Beauty and the Beast by a significant amount. But yeah, it's not the worst thing I ever saw in
Ryan,
my life, which was shocking.
There was a point in the theater where a baby started crying, and I was grateful. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was like, first time ever.
2 hours and
Singing
15
again.
minutes long.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, dude,
come
no,
on.
and then like 4 or 5 Disney trailers before that. It was
Yeah, I didn't
hell.
even get an Oppenheimer trailer.
Did
Bro,
not
they
get
They played that stupid Seth Rogen Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes.
Turtles trailer
Oh,
twice.
God.
They
They-
actually played it twice.
They played
in
it
my
twice.
theater.
to have a frame of reference. I watched for the first time The Little Mermaid, the animated Little Mermaid. I had never seen it.
The fact that you'd never, I know, like, I get it. You were in jail, you were in prison. But the fact that you've gone
emphasis.
this far is crazy without seeing it.
What? How am I going to
Ryan
see it? Am I going to show it to my? Okay. Am I going to show it to my sons? No. No.
Because you masturbated to it.
Really good animation.
She's a redhead who's
We never
not
get to
crazy.
see the real ending of this, which is 3 weeks after they get married, Eric realizes that she won't shut the up. Every time he wakes up, she's just like,
He's like, if I hear that song one more time,
yeah, shut the fuck up. It's the same song every time.
learn a different song.
Let me go to the fish joint. What the fuck?
And then Eric looks down and realizes that Ariel's given him ick disease. And he's like, what's this? No.
So it's the animation's really good. It's really good animation. And I didn't care. I thought
Little Mermaid, the Little Mermaid animated film is really
it's
good.
it's
Really
good animation, and I wanted to sharpen target when I was done. So
Oh,
it just was
Glenn
closed.
Keane, right?
Oh,
Glenn
to
Keane.
tuck.
I wanted to tuck it. To Nantucket. That's fine. It was fine. It was thankfully very short. And
An hour shorter than this.
an hour
movie.
shorter than this one. The story was better. I will give it this. The animation is so good. The animated Ariel and Eric can emote much better than the actual human beings from the movie who cannot emote. They can't move their faces. They have like one facial expression the entire time, which is kind of, it's not even wonder. It's more like they're sedated or something. I'm not really sure.
Well, the thing that makes
water in her eyes, for fuck's sake.
The thing that makes the Little Mermaid, the animated film, so good are the supporting characters, like
Sebastian, yeah,
and Scuttle.
I feel like
and
Flounder sucked in this one.
Sebastian sucked. Flounder really sucked because his eyes. It was a real fish, so you can't.
Scuttle.
You
really
can. Yes, yes. That fucking Aquafina sucks. Make her stop. But no, with Flounder, you're right, Ryan. It's like there was no emotion in the eyes. There was just those dark.
You couldn't even see him.
Yeah,
the eyes.
The faces were so stiff.
It's got those eyes. Dull eyes.
Like in the animated one, he's obviously bright yellow and blue and everything. And in this one, they made him just like a plain ass fish.
Yeah,
you can't tell the difference between him and anybody else. And so, like, even scenes like at the end, it's like Scuttle and Sebastian and Flounder were sitting there on a rock, and like you could barely even see Flounder there.
It wasn't meaningful.
Worse than Dory. I mean, well, Dory was good. I'll tell you one of the things that really bothered me with the movie, because also being a 3D animator. Thank you very much. Where's the applause?
Is there anything you can't do?
I can't. That if you watch the movie, one of the things that I found really irritating is that the camera did the CG thing where it could go anywhere at any speed and zoom around. One of the magic things about Pixar, and most people don't pick up on it, is the fact that they run the camera as if they were in a studio. If they move the camera, it's like it's a crane shot. It could be on a dolly. They don't abuse the fact that they're in 3D and they can move the camera anywhere they want, anytime, as quickly down girl as they want. But in this movie, underwater, the camera was going anywhere. That's just lazy. That's just bad art direction.
Did it go under the sea?
This movie belongs under the sea.
It's not a very good movie.
It definitely needs to be Deep Six, that's for sure.
I'm interested to know what was you guys' theater's reactions. So to me, the things that stuck out were during the middle when it dragged, there were definitely, you could tell like some families were getting bored and stuff. But I will say, when King Triton came back, the theater clapped.
People loved
at the end of the movie, people clapped. Like, to me, the audience in my theater, the families in my theater really liked it.
I went.
They were laughing at the jokes, the stupid Aquafina jokes.
The Ursula jokes. A lot of
Ursula jokes. They were laughing all over.
To me, it seemed to land with the audience.
See, they're at 94 audience.
Why don't you click on that 94 real quick, just to check, and then hit all audience.
All audience.
Okay.
Oh, whoa!
That's a different number.
Nerdrotic.com.